Whoa! Ho, we're live, boys. We are live. Matt, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Civil War Podcast. I am your host, your emperor, your commander, your king, Red Runner 328. Welcome, Liberators, to I said that. Yeah. Matt, I have a question for you.
What is this question, Red?
Who is this week's sponsor?
We were supposed to have a sponsor?
Yeah.
I think it's Frank's Red Hot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Red's Frank's Hot.
Yeah, Red Frank's Hot.
Yeah.
Because Red's first, no matter what people say. People on the Titanic wasn't women and children. It's Red first.
Yeah, I put that splat on everything. Yeah, okay.
My match broke.
How awful.
Let's have a moment of silence for a match.
Ugh, that sounds awful. That sounds awful. Frank's Red Hot
expect-
Emerald.
Ooh,
Wait, what?
that is terrible.
First VA is having awful things. After all these things I do for him, I troll his son, I do all these things, and he's just, forget it.
I mean, I even catfished his son.
Mm-hmm. By the way, First VA, Red is looking to marry into your family. Karen,
Yes, are any of your children available for marriage?
Yes, Red is he is looking at your youngest. He thinks that he would make a good husband.
It doesn't have to be a love kind of a marriage. It could just be, I'm just trying to marry into the family.
Yeah. I hope some of Calibrated Core's guys hop on here and be like, what is this?
Well, Papa Core is my dad, and he told me that they would.
If they don't, I'm suing.
Don't sue my dad. Man, this cigar is good.
Why didn't you get me one?
I have a 4-pack here. You want one?
Sure thing. Just airlift it for 9 hours.
What was that, Couch?
What about mine?
I'm sorry. None of these are factory rejects. I know how you like those.
Throwouts.
Reject, throwouts, the same name for it's a different word for the same thing.
Tomato, potato.
Like mine. Some people say dead pancreas. I say useless organ. Same thing.
Tomato, potato.
Nah.
Just
How is
remember.
your arm, Red?
It is hurting bad.
No bueno. No bueno.
Like, for those of you who don't know, which I don't know why none of you wouldn't know, but anyhow, yesterday I had a full-grown husky sink his full canine into my arm straight in. There is a big hole in my arm. I will try to get a visual for you guys. There it is, right there. It may not look big, but it actually goes in pretty deep. I'm feeling it every time I move my arm. I feel it. And I had to lift up 2 dogs today that were easily 200 pounds. So, yeah, that didn't fix things. But your boy Red is pushing through. He's providing you guys the people who care about him, the people he cares about. I'm with you, boys.
How many doodles did you have?
Today?
Yes.
4 or 5. And one guy said he's going to get a doodle, and one of the groomers are asked the important question: why? And he goes, "Oh well, I've heard. I fell in love with my neighbors." I'm like, "Don't fall for that. That's like that, dude. Those are gold diggers, man."
Gold diggers? Uh-oh. Oh, look, it's Smelly. He has decided to bless us with his presence.
Oh, there is something I left out. We are joined today by none other than the private digger, Matt.
Yep.
What an intro. General August Valentine Couts, my commanding officer and commander of the 23rd Corps. I run the show. He gets all the credit. That's just how it works. Sutton, how are you, my friend?
I do provide accolades where necessary.
Saying "Get me my morning coffee" is not accolades.
Your morning coffee.
I was quoting you. And it also appears that we are joined by Shemley. Mate.
What's up, you shucklers?
Sutton. Well, you just heard how I'm doing Sutton, so.
Shucklers. What?
Matt, I believe you said we have before the in the pre-podcast game set up. Hoorah. I believe you said that we had a few subjects we're going to be discussing today. Let's get these people knowledge about that, so they can start their so they can get their questions ready.
You didn't introduce me.
You didn't introduce Meme.
Meme. Oh, Meme is here. I apologize. We also have Meme Killer here. Gandalf still beats me. No, Gandalf does not beat me. Meme, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Meme.
Well done. For those of you who don't know, Meme is our most.
Had to introduce ourselves.
Meme is our newest member. He is on a trial run for becoming a pod boy. So we'll see how this goes.
Pod boy.
We'll see how this goes. Where is Bryce? Bryce is being a good boy. And he's anxious.
Hallelujah. I think this whole world needs Jesus and praise the Lord. Hi, Noah.
I don't think Jesus is concerning about right now. He's like, I'm not going. Jesus actually in 2020, but after seeing how it went for the first 6 months, he's like, hey, fuck that. Language. My mistake. He said, screw that.
Language.
You know what? There was even a voice inside my head that was like, you should not say that.
Should I introduce myself more?
I mean, if you want to.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Like your credit card number, your social security, the funny little numbers on the back of the credit card.
Your address. Okay, gotcha.
The address, how much money is in the account, so we can help you maintain it. Not for our use. So if something unexpectedly comes up.
Okay, let's do. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Also, I'm trying to watch the stream on YouTube and it's not working for me for some reason.
Dude, you're part of the stream.
I know, like I'm on YouTube. Yeah, like trying to watch the stream just cuts the black. Yeah, that's happening for me. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna introduce myself. Well, this is the short version. Okay, yes, I'm me. Well, like you said, my name is Meme Killer. Parent has come home and I must believe it. Goodbye, you shucklers.
Bye, Shemley.
Sorry, I had sisters. Enjoying me. Again. Okay, I'm back. I was just gonna say goodbye, kiss, kiss, mwah, mwah, bye. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, my brothers.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, Meme Killer. I'm in America. I'm living on the West Coast part, and I don't know. I like history, obviously. I mean, why the heck would I even be here in the first place if I didn't like it? Yeah, I'll just say I'm in high school, and no, I'm not legal.
Okay, nice little tidbit at the end there. So all you people that are thinking, Meme sounds pretty cute. No, he's off limits.
Meme is not for sale yet.
Yeah,
yes, I'm not for sale.
Yeah. But yes, this is Meme Killer's trial run for the Pod Boys, and we'll see
how it goes. Yes. So Matt, what is our kickoff subject today?
Well, Carrots and I were talking while you were out doing stuff, and we decided formations would be a good topic to discuss.
Formations is a very good topic.
Yes. And now we determined, well, that's the thing that we determined that it was a broad subject because, you could have infantry, artillery, cavalry, navy.
Are we going to have the discussion about is cavalry better than infantry again?
I don't think we're going to have that. Bryce isn't here to make fun of her right now.
Okay,
No,
okay.
we're not. Bryce isn't here, so we can't make him mad.
Dismounted cavalry is basically imps that lost their horn.
Yep.
Sure, like cavalry is just like faster, more mobile.
Archer!
Okay, sorry guys. I'm using my computer, which may mean my audio will cut out now and then. I don't know why, but it just...
That's because computer microphones suck.
Not as bad as Bryce's potato mic, though.
I like how I say computer mics suck as I'm live streaming on my Acer Chromebook.
I don't have a microphone. I'm just using the stand I have on my computer.
It's going. Okay, let us begin. So, what would you like to discuss first? Would you like to discuss
Yeah, let's get into formations.
specifically what you kind of?
Well, seeing as how General Couts and I are both technically still cav officers, just of the staff variety, let's talk about infantry.
I guess that's my subject then.
Indeed it is, lad.
400 years, yes.
I'm good with that. Okay, so basically, very, 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 very simple. The infantry is the best thing on the field. I don't care what you cav and artillerymen say. Infantry is best.
It's okay to be wrong.
Basically, your average
Infantry is the backbone of an army, of a good army.
No, they are the whole army.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Except the cav, not to cut you off, but the cav has indeed grown up over the years, went from horses to boats and planes to helicopters.
And tanks.
And jeeps.
Technically, cavalry was at first with chariots.
This is true.
It's true. Well, horses in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so
I do kind of watch the stream at the same time, so I'm just looking at the thing because no one idiot.
yay! Okay, so basically, infantry, best part of the Union Army, always has been, always will be. And so basically, it is very simple. You have most basic form of it, the company. Company is about 100 men. Usually the men are 18 years old, Protestant, white males, usually farmer, usually weighing between 130 to 180 pounds, and average height is about 5'8".
You also need to remember the city boys.
City boys still, yes. But on average, many of them were from farms, outer settlements, mainly, but also cities were very common. And basically, each regiment was composed of 10 companies. Regiment would have, on average, about 1,000 men that would be at full strength, but usually you would see that number dwindle away pretty quickly because of, disease, battle wounds, desertions, the usual ailments that plague armies. And basically, on average, you might have, depends, probably 350 to 600 men at a given time in an infantry regiment or battalion, if you will, but battalion's more of a term for when in battle and is much smaller. Generally. Don't give me that look, Red.
No. I'm not that look. I didn't get a chance to get any food while we were out. So I was thinking about door dashing something, but everything is closed.
Sorry.
How is everything closed?
I don't know. I'm looking at everything from McDonald's to Dayton Fish Sticks, whatever the heck that is.
They're good.
McDonald's is closed?
That's bad.
So is Rally's.
I feel like fish sticks is peak food.
McDonald's closed, Rally's closed, Chick-fil-A closed.
Did we get a new
Always
order?
open where I'm at. Everyone's in like a everyone's in there staying in their cars. You know what I mean? The usual procedure about wearing your mask.
Oh yes, that's another no-no subject, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
The word of it in its entirety, that's a no-no subject.
What, masks?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay, let's get away from that stuff.
What, masks?
No. The reason for the masks.
Oh, the
Yes.
Chinese, the
That.
oriented virus, the
That.
Flu flu.
epidemic.
It's the Black Plague 2.0.
Why do you think I got why?
Not even that.
Why do you think I got the plague doctor mask? I am preparing. I got my leeches coming in the mail.
Noah says he pities you, Red.
Don't pity Red. Red's amazing. Kidding me? I have like 18 wives, 30 husbands. Dude.
Husbands. What a mad lad.
Dude, I mean, you got to have the boys. Hey, Hemingway is here, boys. Hemingway, of all people, is here. Brother Charles.
We just need to wait for a couple other people like Cody.
Cody's not going to show up. He's a lightweight.
Yeah, Cody never shows up to the...
Usually in the pod, though.
Never.
Okay, anyways. Let's go way off topic. I think we need to go to our...
Yeah, I know a few...
Back to the regiment talks.
I know of a few infantry formations because they've been used against us when playing Cav. Square, for one, which those of you don't know, square is where the infantry would commonly fix bayonets, and they would literally form up into a square with all men facing all direction. And the reason for this was, with the bayonets out, the horses, which, contrary to popular belief, not stupid animals at all. Or they see...
They're intelligent, but they decide not to show it.
No, they do. Trust me, horses are extremely smart. We had one at Dogwood a few weeks ago untie herself twice from the line.
Good horse.
I swear I heard her mother say, "I'm going to send you off to a glue factory. Your new name is Elmer's."
Nice.
But, yeah, Square was definitely used against Cav. They've even used that against us, dismounted Cav, because I guess they're afraid of our sabers. I don't know.
You want to know something funny about Square?
Yeah.
There are very few events that it was actually used during the war. Very few accounts.
Well, usually...
The more popular one, just stand in a line.
Well,
another line behind it.
Well, Square would only be used to counter Mounted Cav, and Mounted Cav was usually only sent in after the retreat was begun, so they were meant to help ward off any possible regrouping.
Yeah, and one of the only times it was ever used was at Gettysburg when the Union was withdrawing from the ridge back to the town. That was one of the only times it was ever actually used.
Really?
Yes, one of the only times it was actually used.
Little did they know that Stuart's cavalry was...
But, yeah, basically, there's that, if you want to know, in case anyone is a
stickler
for this information.
There is a big downfall to Square as well. Just like Noah pointed out, they are prone to bayonet charges. But also, when you have a whole bunch of men bunched up like that, artillery.
Yeah, isn't, like, if you just pop to, like, the grape shot, it's pretty much, you're done for. It's right in the middle.
Grape shot is a Navy term.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, it would be canister.
Canister shot, and often
okay.
It would be a double canister if you were loading a canister.
The scariest thing an infantryman can hear is load double canister coming from the enemy artillery.
Yeah, double canister would basically turn let's say a mountain howitzer into a big old squirrel gun.
It turns any of them into a shotgun, essentially.
Yeah.
And it does a really good job at turning a person into a fine pink mist and a pair of shoes.
Or you can just completely disappear and not even exist in this world.
That's what he said.
Yeah, a fine pink mist and a pair of shoes.
A fine pink mist.
Yep.
What was the one that was, I can't think of the term for it. It was airburst, I think. I don't think that's the term for it, but that's what it was. It was an airburst.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, airburst. It was an exploding shot. Yeah, it was basically a canister just flying over your head. Boom.
No, not a canister, not a canister. It was a ball that was hollow in the middle that
Really?
had gunpowder and other shrapnel put inside of it, and it had a wood fuse that was soaked with nitroglycerin. And the fuse, you've heard in Gods and Generals in Gettysburg, load 5-second fuse. Well, they knew about it. Was never an exact art because the fuses were all different. You would get the fuses were like a foot long, and would cut off how much fuse you would need, and you would jam that into the shot, load your powder, load the exploding shot. But the exploded shot, you had to make sure that you had the fuse back towards the powder. That way, when the cannon was fired, it would ignite the fuse, and the fuse would burn as it's going through the air. And by the time it hits the powder inside the hollowed out shot, it ignited the powder and it would explode, sending shrapnel all over the place. It was actually developed by a Frenchman by the name of Shrapnel.
Hmm.
And that's what that was called. Why it was called shrapnel.
So
It's also called K-shot too.
so it's actually pronounced
George,
shrapnel.
actually very lucky for these for like soldiers in the in this war. It's very lucky that they didn't have anti-personnel mines. Those would have been absolute hell.
No, they did have mines. They did have mines.
Like, I mean, they didn't, like, they weren't as like sophisticated like modern day. Like, they weren't like the World War One. Like, just imagine just one. Like, remember, the bouncing mines, the ones that shot up and like
Bouncing Betties?
metal balls into every direction. That would have been absolute hell to be in.
They had solid shot too.
See, the goal of the artillery when they were firing the solid ball was not to send it through the air through them. The goal is to be along the enemy's flank. That way you can shoot down the line of men. But you wanted to skip the ball, taking them out somewhere between their ankles
and I can't
and their
DoorDash.
hips.
Everything's closed.
What you would do is you would position yourself at an angle, kind of like in a raking motion, and it was called enfilading. I know that word is kind
Is it enfilading or enfilade?
it's ENFIDALING, enfilading.
I believe the pronunciation is enfilade.
I'm
I
live.
think so, yeah.
I'm not going
warning
to
you.
swear my life to it, but I believe that it is enfilade.
Yeah, I think it's enfilade, but yeah, it's called enfilade. But basically, you'd want to rake in a motion across from it.
Yeah.
Because that would get you the most kill. Going straight into it wouldn't get you much, but going across would get you a lot of kills.
Oh, there's chili.
Yes.
Turning red.
Did you say the chilies are turning red?
Chili peppers. Red hot chilies.
Mama Red.
Yes, Mama Red is here. She's looking at the garden. We got cucumbers. We got wild onions. Wild onions going.
No, they're not wild. Well,
How is your boxwood?
You know what?
Hey, sure. What's up,
Green
Plum?
boxwood.
Let us go look at it.
Thank you, First React.
It's in the weeds.
Yeah, my
Can I
boxwood
have
is in the
the-
weeds,
you know
but
the-
she is
You remember the mini ball?
Minay ball. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, sorry.
My boxwood is growing.
You guys can talk.
growing
Sorry.
well. There she is. She's sprouting new leaves all over. She's doing very well. I'm proud of her.
Good.
What's her name?
The green boxwood, her name is Farah. That's Irish for beautiful.
You named your boxwood. You are a true Irishman.
Well, honestly, if I ever had a daughter, I would name her Farah Lily.
I feel like there's a pun in that. I don't know why.
It would translate to beautiful lily.
It's beautiful. But yes. What were we talking about? I can't remember. I think
Formations, my lad. Formations. Actually, 5 nations at this point.
It wasn't. Okay, I'm just gonna say
believe
so.
in it. We're up to 5, possibly 6 nations.
Okay.
Yes.
There are plants you can grow now.
Something prick you? That's nasty water. But yeah, we got a lot of... One of these days, I'm going to do a video of the entire garden we got here.
Good.
Cav had... Matt, since you are infantry, I am primarily dismounted Cav. I think it would be interesting to talk about the subtle differences between infantry and cav formations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Well,
no!
I think the biggest thing that we need to talk about is the fact that cab
Hey
formations
guys,
have
hey guys, I just got a picture from the internet. I just want to see if this is how accurate this is. Or I mean, it's
got
probably.
it off the internet. It's probably accurate because you can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
So this is what I got. Isn't it like we also have to think about the skirmishers line too. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's
what
a
you are
different tactic
hold on.
formation.
What you are looking at, I believe, is from the what manual is that? That looks like maybe not Hardy's. That might be Hardy's actually. That might be the Hardy's manual.
Oh, by the way, how?
Skirmishers group.
They could actually, you could take a whole company.
Yeah,
Skirmishers.
a skirmish is basically just fancy word for big battle. Well, not big battle, small battle.
Yes.
Yeah, and also skirmishers were kind of like, you know, the guy just took pot shots.
Yeah.
Not
Well, it depends. If you had a general idea where you were, occasionally you might want to have a man fire a shot over there, but you wouldn't want to fire a whole volley because let's say I'm going to use the screen right here since people are watching. Okay, let's say your men are right where the door handle is, right there, and you speculate that the enemy is right there at the corner. Well, if you fire an entire volley over at that corner and they turn out to be right down at this corner, well, now none of your men have ammo and they're free to advance upon you.
Or you know, you can easily just friendly fire too.
That's how Jackson died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that was all
As
at the
usual.
hands of the Germans too. So
This is German. We said it last night. Germans like killing each other, killing their own people.
They do.
And so do Russians.
If you're referring to Stalin's famous not one step backwards act, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Another important thing to know about skirmishers is if they would only deploy. Usually, if they had smoothbores, they would usually never deploy them as skirmishers.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, okay. Can I give you one thing? Because we were talking about like Russians really quick for like a couple seconds. I find if I just say something about it.
Not primary.
Carefully.
Yeah.
But not
Is it-
about
A little
how
bit.
they fought the war.
That wouldn't apply to the
It
podcast here.
it
If you
is
want to talk
different.
about it in Discord, feel free.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Wait, so I'm sorry, I can't exactly hear Red for some reason.
It's probably
he's
because
outside.
I got an AC unit right next to me that refuses to shut up. But Red will get louder.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You talk about it and it's supposed to.
Also, I think we're getting connection issues.
It always starts that way at the beginning.
Just going on now. Anyway, sorry, I'm.
We're all good. All right. What were we up to? I can't remember. Something about skirmishers? Yes.
Yeah, there's also a term in the Cav, something called S skirmishers, which was for dismounted Cav. I'm not sure if the infantry uses this as often, but it was mainly used by the Cav to spread out with usually 5 pace intervals, which would allow horses to charge through. Cav is bad today. It'll even out. It always does.
I'm having no issues hearing you, Red.
You have issues hearing me?
I have no issues hearing you, Red.
Oh.
Neither do I. I hear you just fine.
She's gonna be on camera. And with cucumber. Oh, look, there's Doggo down there. Doggo. There's Pepper.
Doggo.
Oh, don't push. She don't want to come outside.
Okay. Wait.
What were we talking about? I can't remember.
I was talking about S skirmishers.
Yes. 5 paces in the leg. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can't hear, if you can't, if you keep on having that with the little thing, then I think you should be fine. There shouldn't be too
Yeah,
much concern.
I honestly, the video lag, I'm not too concerned with. As long as you can hear us, that's good because voices are the most important part of a podcast.
And taking a cigar.
Especially for reenactors.
Well, camping, we this sort of also applies to reenacting. Once in a while, or someone who does, it'll keep bugs away.
It'll help keep the bugs away.
You know, just find a good slow burning cigar, puff on it every once in a while, keep it lit, and yeah, it'll keep the bugs away from you. You see everybody else smacking them, but yeah, enough getting off track. We tend to do that often. Let's focus, boys. Oh, you want to be on? Oh, you want to be on? You want to be on camera again? That was one of my brother-in-laws.
Hello.
Good day.
But yeah, that are I think overused in reenacting.
Such as?
Full volley fires when only one rank. When you only have one rank. Actual historical point of view, because if, like I said earlier, with your men over here firing a whole volley, none of your men are loaded at the time, and the enemy and your foe is able to freely advance towards you with no contest.
Absolutely, always keep at least 2 rifles loaded.
Mm-hmm. That's why if you have even a company of 10 men, and like with us in the Sharps with the breech load, 2-second intervals. By the time the third man goes off, I would already be loaded. Again, so that would keep them at bay, because at least one person would always be loaded, and no one would be that brave.
Always check your firearms to make sure they will load before a battle, or fire before a battle, because you'll have an instance where one will not go off, and then the generals get captured.
We'll shine some light on that later during the reenacting story.
What did you do, Captain?
Just checking to see that your dummies and jam could save your life eventually.
It was not Red's fault, Pedro. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't his fault. Okay.
It was the 48th Ohio's fault.
No, thank you.
Don't say he's just blaming Ohio because 4th Ohio.
Hey now. At least 2 of us are Ohioans. You better be careful what you say about this great state.
We will shuck our corn at you.
That's right. The corn is high, boys. The corn is
Okay.
Good.
Okay. But yeah, that's the one thing that is the bad part about volley. No one's loaded, and who's to say the enemy doesn't decide to just run at you?
Which has happened many a times at our events. It's like, line volley, fire. Hey guys, they have no ammo. Get them. No, I didn't have the sandwich.
Or like a group of your reenactors just did whatever during the actual reenactments. They kind of just
That's after hours.
Battles are typically tried to be scripted. We try to have some sort of a semblance of what is going to occur, but as soon as the first shot is fired, it goes out.
Yeah, it's think of it like a WWE wrestling match. By the end, we know who's going to win, but it's how it's going to be played out.
And nobody really likes the scripted ones, because the scripted ones, there's just fun in it.
Yeah,
and you want to practice your tactical abilities.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of the field officers want to do. If you script it all out, unless you were doing an actual battle, if you're doing something that's just put on and isn't really a reenactment of an actual battle, like at Gettysburg, where we know exactly what steps were taken, when, and at what point of the battle.
Yeah.
Then yes, you have to do that one by the book. Otherwise, it's all pretty much impromptu stuff.
Yeah, it also really like he said, it's a chance for the commanders to really show their mettle, and it's also really fun because if you play with if you go up against guys that you've been fighting for a while, it becomes more realistic because during the Civil War, many commanders fought next to each other.
They were fighting each other. They're friends.
Well,
they were
no,
fighting their friends,
yeah, they fought next to
because
each other.
A lot of people a lot of the commanding officers of both forces went to West Point together. So they were fighting their friends.
Kind of person they were, what kind of risks they would be willing to take. So it was a really tough of how can I outsmart them with them knowing who I am and what I would do.
Hey, wasn't it true in the Civil War that sometimes that officers would just have some ceasefires just because they're like, joint, we need to resupply our whiskey or something like that?
No.
I don't think that was the case. I won't say for certain one.
Probably not recorded, but I do know officially that they would have a couple of them, like mostly just.
Yes.
Come down to it, it was still Americans fighting Americans.
Like my brother.
Yeah, I can't remember what battle it was. I think it might have been Fredericksburg, that a Confederate sergeant ordered all of his men to give him their canteens.
.58.
There we go. It's back now.
Short socket.
Alex, what are you talking about?
I am currently working on a 1949 Farmall H, trying to get it ready for the Antique Farm Machinery Show.
Okay, that's fine. Because I keep hearing.
I'm trying to keep my talk about what's going on with the tractor down, so that it's not as apparent in the stream.
Well, now we know.
Now we know.
I just didn't want it to be, a background feature of the.
Just out of nowhere, going to hear a tractor fire.
Robert Kirkland at the Battle of Fredericksburg ordered his men to give him all their canteens so he can go out onto the field and give the Union men who were dying in the field water.
You know what? That makes me think. People say, why is it called the Civil War if there's nothing civil about it? Well, that was pretty civil of him to do.
At Spotsylvania Courthouse, there was a temporary ceasefire because after the Union charged the angle, there were too many bodies on the field, so they had to get them off. And so basically, there was Union and Confederate soldiers intermingling with each other. The Union basically stepping over to the Confederate line, Confederates, and the Union line basically retrieving their dead, talking among themselves. And they're all like, "Oh, nice to see you, nice to meet you. Oh, you're from Tennessee. I'm from
Maryland.
I'm from Massachusetts.
I'm from Maine."
Basically, what's that?
I said, nice to meet you from Tennessee. I'm from Maine.
Yep. Great movie.
Okay, we're up to like 8 nations.
Well, that worked. We're up to the 8th nation?
Yeah.
You sure it's not the 9th?
I don't know anymore.
Early.
I think, another thing, bayonets being standard issue, they were not used as often as pictures, paintings would indicate. Never. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing stated? I did not hear it.
I said, bayonets, even though they were standard issue,
they didn't get used.
Yeah, they rarely got used.
In battle, they rarely got used.
In battle, yeah. You always, almost every single painting you see of the Civil War, you see, a lot of smoke on the field. That's accurate. You see the troops, accurate, but then you see them, like you see off in the distance, like these giant rows of men, he's like, it makes it look like the men, 100,000 versus 100,000. You see off in the distance, they're fighting in hand-to-hand combat. The guys in the foreground are still firing at each other from a distance. No, hand-to-hand combat was considered a rare thing because the wounds made by a triangle bayonet were virtually impossible to stitch, especially when you would perform what is called the develop, which would be you would stab with the bayonet and twist, and then
which
retract.
basically turns it into a hexagon.
Yeah, and then you would retract your bayonet. So that right there, you're creating a wound that's virtually impossible to stitch. You know, it's not like a knife or a sword if you get stabbed. It's a nice clean cut.
No, it was very, very.
Yeah, you had a better chance of surviving
Not
getting
good.
shot.
You had better chances of surviving dysentery than a
Yes.
triangular bayonet wound.
Or
I
an
wouldn't.
amputation.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Although I do like that how they found out about some of the stuff that they did to during the war, stuff that they found out, like the soldiers that got wounded towards the later stages of the battle, you know, after they had already used up all of the cotton thread to sew up sutures and such, that they were using the tails of horse tail hairs
really,
to sew up the horses. Well, yes, and the thing is, they noticed the ones that were being sewn up with horsehair were less likely to get infections than the others. I mean, of course, they needed to figure out, you know, washing hands in between surgery, wiping down tools,
yeah.
all that stuff.
For the longest time, it was. For the longest,
that also aided in the infection rate. But,
Yeah.
but the people that were sewn up with the horsetails were less likely to get an infection. And do you guys know why that is?
Is
probably
because to make the horsehair more supple and more comfortable for the wound, they had to boil them.
Well, to make it, have you ever tried to tie a knot in hair? If you do it as just your regular hair, if you take one hair and tie a regular knot in it, you'll break the hair. It's hard. You'll break the hair. It was more pliable after the horsehair had been boiled.
Yeah.
And because it was boiled, that was where the sterility came in.
Yes.
Did not know they used horsehair.
Yes. I mean, after they went through all the cotton string to sew soldiers back up, they had to resort to something, and what was available? The doctor's horse.
Well, another thing to point out, we were talking about wounds, and you know we're still on that subject. Also depends on what rank you were. If you were a private and you got wounded, chances of seeing a doctor extremely slim. You were at the bottom of the barrel.
You're a colonel.
Yeah, you're a colonel or a general or a major. If you were an officer, you were put ahead of everyone else.
Yes.
Also, I would actually like to point to one of Brandon F's videos that he made about persons that were injured. It was their responsibility to get to the hospital. You did not have the stretcher bearers out on the field. It was your responsibility to get somewhere safe. That's why, you know, they died of exposure.
Yeah, they literally either bled out or froze to death as they were left out on the field. The
stretcher bearers, you know, the musicians that became stretcher bearers and the hospital stewards, they were only there at the hospital, the field hospitals or the houses where the surgeries were occurring.
Yeah,
that was not something out on the field. I'm
not sure how accurate this is, but you know, the scenes in Gods and Generals. This is one of the scenes I don't think was very accurate in the movie. When after Jackson gets hit, you see who was it? It was another general. It was I can't think of the general's name, but anyhow, he called for a litter, and they came up with a stretcher.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. He would have won if they needed to get Jackson medical help right away. They would have
thrown him on the back of a horse and hauled him out.
Yeah, or they would have picked him up and carried him as a last resort. It wasn't, hey, get on this cot, you know, this mobile cot that's a brand new piece of technology, and we're going to lift you out of here and carry you.
No,
it was more than likely either thrown up on it, and it wasn't put in a saddle. It was literally thrown over a horse.
Like in Red Dead, where Morgan throws people over the back of the horse behind the saddle. That's how that happened.
Yes. Even though Jackson was a general, their concern wasn't, okay, let's make him comfortable and then move him. It was, let's get him out of here.
Get him to the hospital, and then we'll make him safe.
Yes. So the scene where it's like, litter, and then they come up and they put him on the stretcher, which those were only used at the hospitals. And most of the time it was to carry the wounded over to the dead, put another person on, put him on the table. And so when you see him carrying Jackson on a stretcher, no. I'm sorry to say it, because
no.
Gods and Generals is a great movie, but that's one of the big ones they got wrong. It's one of the big inaccuracies of the movie.
Mhm.
That and Stewart's beard.
Stewart's beard.
I love the hat, though.
Dude, he had an impeccable hat.
It's absolutely impeccable. Do you like tobacco? Me neither. I find I might like it.
Oh, that's a great scene. Yeah, I honestly, with his
that right
religious,
there is the best line in the movie.
as religious as he was, I could have swore he was going to say it's against my religion, but no, might like it too much.
Completely out of left field.
Yeah, as religious as Jackson was, do you use tobacco? No, neither do I. Might like it too much.
That is the
Hooroo.
best part of the whole movie.
No, actually, I will retract my statement about feeling that is the best line in the movie. I actually will say that it was there at the battle where the captain's like, General, you need to get down. He says, Captain, my religious beliefs have taught me to feel as comfortable in battle as I do in bed.
No,
Creator
that's not. I know what scene you're talking about, and you're getting the lines correct up to the point where it wasn't during battle. It was I think it was his adjutant was talking to him, and he said, "How could you stand up there getting shot at? How could you stay upon your steed?"
Well, I believe that in the actual context is that it happened after the battle, but in the movie it was during the battle.
Yeah, it was it was right after the battle because Jackson was looking over one of the dead VMI soldiers. He's looking over one of the dead VMI soldiers. The scene you're thinking of is a guy walks up and goes, General, I fear the battle may not be going in our favor. I fear we might lose it. And Jackson's like, well, you better keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good too.
Yeah, what you're thinking of is after the battle, he's like, how could you stand there with all that destruction? And Jackson's all like, well, my religious beliefs have taught me that God has made a point where I am to die. I do not worry myself with it.
I am not to concern myself with it, and I am to feel as comfortable in the field of battle as I do in my own bed.
That's it. Yeah, great line.
And that is actually a way that I have decided to live my life, and it seems to be working out fairly well for me.
And you know what? It did, because it wasn't on the field of battle he died. He was coming back riding his horse, and some German troops were like, oh, look at that, it's a silhouette. Let's not ask questions, let's just shoot him.
Silly.
He rides like a Union general.
He rides like a Union soldier. Well, for a while.
He rides like a Yankee.
One of my favorite lines is
Hans, and march him into the lake.
One of the greatest, most heralded heroes of the war. Made it up to Brigadier General, having no prior military background. He goes from Colonel to Brigadier General, and he marches his men into a lake.
Because he forgot how to turn.
That's when he should have looked at Kilrain and be like, bro, what do I do?
Uh-oh.
Ah, Kilrain.
Nah, rest in peace, Buster. And the bloody armpit.
Anyway, maneuvers. What about
Yeah,
maneuvers?
what kind of maneuvers are we talking about here? Battlefield maneuvers, army maneuvers.
Marching maneuvers.
Yeah.
Say again?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. You came up with it.
Can you give me the context? Because I believe there may have been more to it than just maneuvers.
Yes, you said like maneuvering, like blunders, and probably something that should have been done differently.
Blunders.
Oh yes.
I got a good blunder.
Possibly tipping into alternate history, because I believe the example that I gave you, like if say Grant had a better stronghold on Vicksburg and actually choked them harder than he did, the possible backlash from that, the repercussions he could have faced, how it would have advanced the war.
Yes.
How the war might have ended faster if Burnside listened to General Hancock saying, hey, can I put some boys across the river? Get a foothold in Fredericksburg? Nah, bro. Nah. My plan.
Or possibly,
or McClellan using the men that he had instead of requesting reinforcement had half of the United States population under his command right there at that point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or go ahead, Matt.
One of the biggest ones, I think, would have been Jackson's original plan, which was to ride so far north, bring the Union Army with them, engage with them, and then disengage and break away towards Washington.
I think one of the most famous blunders in movements was definitely Pickett's charge.
Mm-hmm.
Because
take that hill if practical.
but a lot of people think that was a big foul up. Well, you also got to remember, for the longest time, Jackson was Lee's second in command. He was also one of his best friends. He basically died right before the Battle of Gettysburg. So Lee wasn't in his full mindset. He was still mourning for the loss of his friend. And so, and he pulled a Burnside. He wasn't listening to his commanders below him, his advisors. He was just ordering the men around when it came to Pickett's charge. He had sound logic.
You mean to tell me that he was?
Yes, he had sound logic when it came to the belief that the center was weak, because that's where the Union was pulling its reserves from, out on its flanks. It was taking them from the center because it was a madhouse to attack the center because of the fact that it was on a big open field and that the troops were behind a stone wall like the Confederates were at Fredericksburg. Clone, I will not eat that. I will not eat Strummingstrom, whatever it is, the pickled herring.
No, thank you.
You can ask the boys here. I watched a video on that, and it made me throw up.
He did.
But yeah, he didn't take into consideration. Longstreet was telling him, we're going to have to walk across that open field, and they're going to be able to fire upon us with their artillery, and then they're going to unload their muskets at us. And Lee was like, nah, bro, it's all good. Our artillery will knock out their artillery.
As First VA just pointed out, though, Colonel Alexander Porter was overshooting a lot of his artillery to the lines behind to try to prevent the Union from reinforcing that area. However, there was really no one there.
Yeah, he was basically firing at troops that had already been through battle, and they were like, I don't want to do this anymore, man. I want this battle to be done with. And Alexander's just like, you know what? That's where their artillery is. That's where their main stockpile is. Hit them there. Which is good, because if I believe he didn't overshoot and he stuck to the original plan, there's a chance they would have made it across that field.
Yeah.
I think they should have taken that damn hill.
Yeah. Give me one brigade and I will take that hill.
Give me a regiment and I will take that hill.
Give me a company and I will take that hill.
Give me a squad and I will take that hill.
Give me 2 men and I will take that hill.
I don't think he said squad.
I will take that hill.
Uh-oh. Samuel.
I don't know, that sounds like a bad name to give someone. So biblical.
Okay, I got a good one that the Confederates really can't, even Bryce can't defend.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Franklin, Tennessee. Okay? That was 27,000 Confederates charging at the Union. And in total, they lost 14 generals.
Oh!
It was much worse than Pickett's charge. Pickett's charge, they lost, what was it? Like 3 generals wounded, 1 killed at Franklin, it was nine generals killed, 3 wounded, 1 captured, I think. Among them was Patrick Cleburne, the Stonewall of the West, who was probably one of the most brilliant minds at the time in the Western States. And they lost, I don't even know how many Confederates they lost. They lost like 9,000 maybe.
Wow.
Word.
At least, I have to look at the numbers later, I forget, but they lost a sizable amount of their troops in Franklin, Tennessee. That was just a turkey shoot. It's useless. Another thing, the crater.
Battle
That
of the
was
Crater.
just-
I knew it was coming.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I knew it was coming too.
Okay, now when does I mean? Okay, you should already know. The general who lost Fredericksburg, Ambrose Burnside. You put him in charge of trying to breach the fortifications at Petersburg. What's his plan? Let's dig this tunnel underneath the Confederate lines and put 8,000 pounds of gunpowder on there. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, you kind of put all your men in that one little crater, and then the Confederates go, I'm throwing rocks at you.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, literally, they employed the same tactic they did at Fredericksburg. You load, I'll shoot.
You load, I'll shoot. And like in, Cold Mountain, which is honestly an awful movie, but I'll say the Petersburg crater scene is okay.
It's
Except for the Native
entertaining.
American guy throwing the muskets like spears. I don't like that.
It's a waste of a good musket.
Yeah, that's a waste of a good musket. But it's kind of stupid because they didn't plan it. If maybe they had like maybe a couple 100 pounds worth of gunpowder just to blow up the fortification. The
Yeah.
Confederates lost at that time when it exploded 1,400 or so men, I think it was, or 900. Don't remember off the top of my head. But the thing is, you blow a hole in their line, you're funneling all your troops in, and you're also allowing a point for all the Confederates to come in and go, let's go kill him.
Yeah. That was just don't get me wrong. I believe that overkill is underrated, but I think that qualifies. I believe that is above overkill. 8,000 pounds of powder.
Yeah. Although there is one scene in the Battle of the Crater of Cold Mountain, I would like to point out what I think is really cool and a little nod to a lot of things. One thing that people don't really talk about was there was a part where a native comes in contact to a colored troop.
Mm-hmm.
That I think was a cool little nod to, hey, there were other people fighting the war, especially for it being made in the early 2000s. That's when it was truly heavily pumped in, North Good, and South Bad and all that, and you never truly hear about natives fighting or colored troops fighting except for the 54th Massachusetts. So I think it was cool that they had them like sort of fight, sort of, when it was when in the movie, it was just the colored troop overpowering the native and stabbing him with his own knife. Which I don't, I don't think that gives the natives enough credit, because it would have been more of a fight with a native with a knife. That I could tell you from a fact.
The one thing I do sometimes is that I say, when people ask, I've had a bunch of people, especially high school kids, they'll come up and they'll say, what is your opinion of the 54th Massachusetts? And I say, well, I think they were a great unit. They were revolutionary, except they set back a few things from their own time. Then right after that, I say, but have you ever heard of the 1st Kansas, who predates the 54th Massachusetts?
Yes.
And had some of the most brutal fighting in the Trans-Mississippian theater of the war.
Yeah. I think the only reason a lot of people know of the 54th was Glory.
Probably. I think so.
Which I'm not knocking Glory. It's one of the greatest and most accurate representations of the Civil War.
Yes.
It's
Pretty fire.
It's one of the best out there. Leading up to the end of the 54th Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We're talking about movement. Chamberlain marching his troops into a lake without any water wings. That was just dumb.
Absolutely. Where were the noodles?
Exactly. Not one floaty amongst them.
I don't think they were invented. What's another kind of blunder maneuver? Oh, first Bull Run. The Union deciding
just first Bull Run.
First Bull Run.
Deciding not to give their full force to the Confederates, kind of taking a step back and going, all right, let's regroup real quick and let's see what we can do to them.
Yeah, it's just maneuver for we're going to use this as training. Crowd this small rebellion. That's all it's going to be.
Small.
Hey guys, look, there's more spectators. Oh, that's the rebellion, huh? Oh boy.
And what's that I see? Is that with an impeccable hat charging at me?
I would run, but the hat, it's too glorious.
It's like a train wreck. I can't look away.
But that beard, my God.
My God, the beard. That's enough to make you look away.
Yeah.
Do you suppose if the Union had entire forces at first Bull Run, do you think there would have been a second Bull Run?
Probably. I honestly think even if the Union did win at Bull Run, I feel like people in the South still would have felt threatened at the presence of the Union Army coming to invade the South. And most likely there still would have been a rebellion, but it probably would have been much smaller and probably lasted maybe a year or two after that.
Okay, so you're saying that it would have shortened the war by at least 2 years, possible?
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure because you don't feel threatened by the presence of the Union Army coming in. Right. Some people may be like, oh, it's okay, and some may be like,
Oh, boy.
Just Bull Run. That was a blunder.
So what was the Union's biggest Union's biggest blunder? Oh, Battle of the Crater. No. Fredericksburg. Amateurs.
No.
What? Amateurs.
First Bull me.
I don't know if I can think of any more blunders off the top of my head. I would say maybe the Union losing Palomito Ranch and also having a higher casualty count.
Yeah.
I would say that's something.
Well, I'm going to be right back because Red's food is here.
Okay, who's in charge?
You, Digger.
Oh.
You're always in charge. You're the highest rank.
You didn't want to leave the general in command?
What do you think I am, crazy?
I wouldn't trust him with a rifle.
Good, because I don't.
What is this? Now to the weapons section. Okay, what's the weapons section?
We were talking about weapons.
I don't know. What weapons are we talking about? Did I miss something?
I don't know. Are we talking about the Whitworth, the women's Gatlin?
I see First VA is making fun of the Crater. Thanks, First VA.
I think everybody makes fun of the Crater.
We have a request here from the audience.
Which is?
Weapons!
Oh, yes, we've already started to step into that.
Have we?
Yeah, we were like, I saw Clone said something.
Yes, I promised Clone I'd answer this question. Do I prefer the Henry or the Spencer?
Ooh.
I think...
See, the main difference I would like to point out is the magazine. The Henry is is in the front. And the only problem is that the way it's put up, the magazine tube, it has a spring in there. You can see, and you can also, it's as an indicator to see how many rounds you have left. But it's also mainly
the thumb tab.
The thumb tab. I forget what it's called. Yeah. Thing is, though, it can get dirty relatively quickly. However, with the Spencer,
another issue with the thumb tab on the Henry is that you had to make sure that you were paying attention to it and where your hand was, or by the time you've ejected the round and it stops against your hand, it doesn't feed properly, so you're just sitting there clack, 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 clack.
Well, not to mention, it's going to get hot too, which is going to cause the spring and everything to expand.
Yeah.
So that's and you guys pointed out, it's a fast action rifle, which means you could easily get carried away.
Mm-hmm. However, the Spencer, which is a rear loading one, and it is actually, it's kind of like
disposable
magazine, I guess is the word I'm looking for, kind of, but it's not really. You can have multiple of them on you, and all you got to do is slide it, turn it, pop the breech, and cock the hammer, and you're good.
I have to say I do prefer the Spencer just because you can manage your ammo more efficiently. So you're not just wasting shots. Also, like I said, the heat, you're not sliding your hand all the way up that hot rail. And then you got to grab the barrel and twist. So I have to give it to the Spencer. I'm not being prejudiced because I'm Cav, but just because of Spencer, the way you can manage your ammo easier, it would keep you a calm, level head, and you're not just boom, boom, boom,
and
boom,
it's easier,
boom.
It's a little bit easier to keep clean in terms of battle.
Yes.
Because if you get something in that rail, it's not going to work.
No, and you have then what are you going to do, guys? Stop. Does anybody have like a small knife that I can try to get this out?
Plus, you can also, like I said, you can have multiple tubes of ammunition. It holds 7 rounds, which is fair. It's half of the Henry, which the Henry is meant for ammo count, but I think the Spencer makes up for it.
Yeah,
I remember the guy I used to reenact with. He used to sell these little wooden inserts. They cost him $1 to make, and you could fit he said if you had the Spencer tubes, you could fit 7 tubes of ammo in there. They weren't period authentic, but he said they'll do if you want to, speed load and do stuff like that.
Right. My sergeant, our sergeant, he used a Spencer for the longest time, and he would carry. They did have the tubes. They were metal tubes, had a cork in them, and you would twist off the top, the back of your buttstock. You pull that out, and you would remove a tube, pull the cork, pour your rounds in, recork, put it back, slide your tube in, and you're ready to go. So that's a faster reload than.
Yeah, you need to put the way I've seen it, I think, was there's 7 in the tube, and the tube is corked, but you would swap out the tube because the tube had the spring in it.
Yes, yeah. The tube that you would remove from the buttstock, it has the spring in it, and that as you're pushing that down, that's why it was a forceful push and twist. Oh, I'm getting called again. Oof.
I guess I'm in charge again.
Yes.
Yay! I guess should I tell the story of Dr. Spencer? Does anyone know how the Spencer came into circulation in the U.S. Army? Okay, so basically, Clones got it. Lincoln shot it. Lincoln, however, Spencer, who was a good friend of Samuel Colt, manufactured the rifle and wanted to use it because he thought, just like Gatling, and the war a little quicker. However, the War Department would not adopt the rifle because they thought it would waste too much ammunition. So being a true American, Spencer broke into the White House and went into the president's office with a loaded rifle. Said, "Mr. President, I have this rifle. I would like you to try and shoot it because I want this to be within the Army." And so they went out into the back. Lincoln took a couple of shots. He said he liked it. And then he went to the War Department and said, "I would like to order a couple thousand of these rifles and have them circulated among the Union Army." Mainly they gave them to, cav units and stuff like that because, it's hard to load and ride a horse. So, yeah. But basically that's how the Spencer came into circulation in the U.S. Army. A madman broke into the Oval Office with a loaded rifle and said, "Mr. President, backyard and shoot." We actually did that at a reenactment one time. It was really fun. Colt 1855. It's not a bad one. I mean, I'll say this: if you're talking about the it's not that bad. If you're talking about the rifle, I will gladly go sword and longbow instead of that because I'm not risking my left hand getting blown up. Yeah, first VA. Oh wait, first VA. Did your son talk to you about me being in his stream? That was really funny. Oh my god, I can only imagine that conversation.
Yay, Red has food.
Red, you missed it. Box, you didn't miss anything. Oh, did you bring me a slice?
Sure, man. It's a whole heckin' pizza.
I just had pizza. Thanks. You could have told me this. Couch has muted himself because he is more inclined to work on tractor and talk about history. That's okay, though.
Oh, anyway. No, not Pizza Hut. Rapid Fired.
Don't know what that is, but okay.
I am eating something called a Mac Daddy.
I don't know what that is.
It's a macaroni and cheese pizza.
That sounds absolutely nasty and something that a New Jerseyan would probably eat.
It's delicious.
Depends. Have you ever had pizza with gravy on it?
Yes.
You're a good boy.
Yes. So everybody's been wanting the red eating stream, so.
No, I want the red cooking stream. Where's that, man?
Well, as soon as Red learns how to cute Kirk.
I'll come to Ohio. I'll do it for you. Couch said he will be back momentarily. He's got something to do.
Fair enough. Yes. I think we'll keep the stream going for another 8 more minutes and we'll get a movie going.
No, stream for much longer. We need to get Jeffrey in here.
Where is Jeff?
Well, without power, so I don't know where he'll be.
Favorite lever action? Lever action shotgun. They look cool and I like shotguns.
Shotgun. It's a fine weapon indeed, isn't it?
Aye.
Now, I think there's something we've been overstepping a lot, and that is we need to go to Virginia, and we need to get First VA dressed up and at an event. I think that's what we need to do.
Yes.
And then what we need to do is we need to leave him alone in campus the whole day.
Yeah, just by himself and see what he does.
Yeah, I want to see what happens. That would be great.
It would be. come on, get off the paper.
Did you just order a whole pizza for yourself?
Yeah.
Yes, First VA. We're going to leave you alone at a reenactment. That's what we're going to do. We're going to dress you up in a Civil War uniform. We're going to say, you're on your own, and me and Red are going to cakes.
Me and Matt are going to go up to the tree line and watch like Jurassic Park.
No, even better. Even better. What we'll do is we'll go to the command tent, and I will be the guard while you and Couch are doing whatever it is you in the tent.
Yeah, I run the war while he gets the credit.
Yeah. General Couch, what are you doing in there? I am with Lady right. Excuse me.
There's a war to fight. Yeah, there's a war in here too, bud. Okay.
Even better, even better. I'll show up to First VA's house in like a civil. I'll show up in my Civil War uniform, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you and I just show up, throw a uniform at him, and go, "You're drafted."
We ride in 20, and then I'm sitting there like with pocket watch. I'm like, we're running away, and Red's like, I see Rebs everywhere. That would be great. We could do it. We could do it. I believe it.
I'm gonna save the rest of the pizza for movie time.
What movie will we be watching?
Don't know yet.
I might just play some Red Dead or something while the movie's going.
0 to pizza in 180 seconds.
That's a lie. There is a place in New Jersey, however, by the time you step up to the window and you give him you pay for your pizza, it's already there for you. It's already ready.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And he's the most American man I've ever met.
Ah, my phone! No! It's okay. Watch Mein Kampf audiobook.
Let's watch. No. Let's watch Downfall. Let's watch Downfall. I have it somewhere. I don't know where.
That is actually a great movie.
I love that movie. I don't care what anyone says. I love it.
It is a good movie.
Bruno Gans is just nuts.
You know what, though? He's one of the few people who can pull off Hitler. Yeah.
I see Couch is back as well.
Indeed. For a moment.
Are you done tinkering with your tractors?
Yes, I gave up quite a little bit ago.
Good.
No, at the moment, I am the process of getting my hair cut.
Who's cutting your hairs?
What?
Who's cutting your hairs?
Mama Couch.
Hi, Mama Couch.
Hi, ma'am.
You're on my headset, so they cannot hear.
Tell her I said hi. Tell her I said hi, ma'am.
I'm not yelling at the house.
What?
How far away is she cutting your hair?
You haven't seen my hair for a bit, have you?
We saw it the other night.
Would have been last night, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I had it pulled back.
Wait,
no, I saw your hair at Dogwood.
We forgot to mention, since we have this open now, the auditioning for Pod Boys. We got to mention that. And also the liberated officers. Red?
Yes. That is a thing.
I will agree. It is a thing.
Yes. Do you want me to talk about it, or do you want to do it?
Dude, yes, because you're better at doing that. I stutter too much.
I get you. Okay. So
Boy
basically,
says hi.
We are looking for more people who
Mama Cat says hi and goodbye.
Hi and goodbyes.
Bye, Mom.
Basically, we are looking for more people to take part in the podcast. Anyone who's interested in history, military tactics, or anything like that, we would really appreciate. Take the time to hit me or Red up on Discord. We will get back to you as soon as you can, and probably do the whole thing in one night. We just have a few questions, and we ask that you be patient. We also have a new part of Discord called the Liberated Officers. Basically, it's an exclusive chat that only Red and myself can see. Basically, you decide what direction you want the channel to go.
Yes.
I really think that's all there to it. I mean, we have a chat for it, and we have a voice. By the way,
with all of that being said, I believe now is a good time to call her.
Do not call her.
But movie.
We can watch a movie later. You fall asleep all the time. And then me and Keller in First VA stay up to like 4 sleep.
Smiles is here!
See, you can't end it. Smiles is here. We have to continue with it.
Dang, never smile. Well, then yeah, hex. Okay.
So now we need more stuff to talk about. That clown is creepy.
You leave Spike alone. You stands for a female dog.
Building block.
Language.
Whoa. So, yes. Is there anyone... Well, I know only, like, how many people... Does Smiles have Discord?
I don't know. Smiles, do you have the Court of Dis?
Well, in the meantime, I do know First VA. Okay, Smiles does have Discord.
And he is
What's
on the
his
Discord.
name? What's his name?
I'm guessing it's Smiles.
I don't see anyone named Smiles on here.
Let's see here.
For the Ice Maker.
There is also two.
Ice Maker, yeah.
There's also things. One of them is bugged. I gotta fix. That are only associated with the Patreon. Only certain members of Patreon tiers will be able to access those Discord roles.
Mm-hmm.
Not even Matt can enter those roles.
I can now.
Why'd you have to say that, Matt?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So only Matt and I and Assassin can enter those roles at the moment. But once more people join the Patreon, they will be able to access those, and only those people can access those. The top tier has its own room, and it will be able to access all the other ones. Then, the second tier and first tier, they have their own as well. The first tier, let me go to it because I'm horrible with memory. Yada da 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 da. Low.
I guess I am
yes,
a sim correct.
The first tier is private, which is $3 a month. Corporal, which is second tier, $5 a month, and Sergeant, which is $10 a month. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, Red, do you think we should do Liberated Officers thing?
How so?
You want to add him to be a Liberated Officer or no?
Who, Smiles?
No, First VA. If you want to add Smiles too, I'm good with that.
We'll handle all that afterwards, I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. Because we need to put people in there.
Yes, we do. I feel like they should be the only extremely trusted people of the Discord.
I think we could trust First VA. He tells me embarrassing things about his son. That's fine.
Fair enough.
We'll talk about it later.
Yes.
We'll talk about it. We'll think of something. It'll be great.
CNC Cutlery is in the description right now.
Beautiful. I will say they have some pretty good products.
They do. My true favorite e-girl is Red. I just tell Cody that because I don't want to hurt his feelings. Hey, I'm someone's favorite e-girl. Eat it, Belle Delphine.
Don't say that to Bryce. He's going to talk about Bill.
Dude, he is one of her simp. I'm not gonna screw him. A simp is a pathetic piece of trash that donates all their money to some thought that doesn't give a dang about them.
According to Clone, that's what I am to you.
Where's the money, Matt?
Excuse me, sir. I have college debt.
Yeah, but did you not see Clone's definition? And if you're one of my simps, where's the money?
I'm promoting your channel for free. Is that not enough?
Fair enough. Oh, Noah, we do not accept money. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. As in, we do not accept money to become a pod boy. You must audition.
And you must answer the questions right.
Yes, and you cannot look them up on the fly.
Yeah, that's the one thing we should have probably done with meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I have plenty.
Are we out of topics?
Well, let's see what else I have here. Okay, why do we love and hate farbs and hard campaigners?
Okay, so it all depends on the degree of farb.
Okay, so let's say you find a Stitch Nazi.
Oh my gosh, those are the worst kinds of people.
Yeah.
Those campaigners.
With one person who is a Stitch Nazi, but she does it mainly to make fun of the hardcore people.
Like, oh my gosh, the Stitch Nazis will literally come up, ask to look at the coat off your back, like have you take it off, and like examine every.
Actually, it is that. And I'll say, yeah. And did you know that if your appendix bursts, maybe you'll be saved?
Also, they used actual bullets in the Civil War. Let's see. The hardcore campaigners that what is it? No, I'm at farb. The farb that wears like modern day aviators, and go. Well, they're steel frame. They're steel frame, so they're pure. No, you jaundiced person. You syphilis. Just because your glasses are steel frame does not make them period correct.
It does not. No!
That look like this and say these are because you're stupid.
Hey, look at the most period correct guy right there, man.
Go out on the field, guys. I got my period correct glasses or steel frames, so let's go. And I feel like everybody who does that is named Stan.
Okay, the funny part is you're not wrong. I know a guy named Stan who does that, actually.
I called it! Or, this got to me. There was a private in the infantry walking around with a pistol.
Okay, now I have found in some historic accounts there are instances where the private is carrying the pistol for an officer or temporarily holding it for them. In one of the cases, the private almost accidentally shot said officer. But it's not completely uncommon, but still, if you're carrying it because you're like, yes, my private purchase weapon, then get off.
You, as a private, you would not be able to afford enough to buy a pistol and a holster and the ammunition to go with them.
That's like 2 months' salary. You cannot. You cannot expunge yourself on that.
PNP Dynamic says, "Howdy, just dropping by. How do you feel about current events? They suck."
We're not going to talk about that. We already had a stream for that.
Yep, we already had a stream for that. No infantry brought one from home. Revolvers VA were a very hot ticket. Generally,
in and of itself, just without is $12,
and
which is quite a lot of money.
Yes, and so then you would have not only as a private, not only are you buying, because let's say me in the Cav, my pistol would have been issued to me. The ammunition would have been issued to me.
Yeah.
But if, like Matt, a private in the infantry, he would have had to buy a pistol, his own holster, a cleaning kit for one, because the one for his musket wouldn't fit it.
And then I'd have to buy. And then I have to carry it.
Buy the
myself,
pistol
which
caps, the ammunition, and he's going to be marching with that. So pounds equals pain, and a pistol is a good, I'd say 2.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. I'm probably
it's too
highballing
much
there.
weight. And you gotta melt the lead to make your own ball too.
And so not only in a busy schedule of a private of doing anything, drilling, having KP, latrine duty, picket duty, color guard, all these duties, now you have to maintain another piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to do that as a smart person. You're not going to put yourself through that where you have a musket and bayonet, which is designed for the combat you would be doing.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason officers carried pistols was because more than likely they were commanding from horseback one time or another, and it was also a sign of, I am here, I made it.
Not only that too, if you had deserters and you had multiple of them, it was your job because it was a capital crime to desert. So
Yes.
you were to end their lives as quickly as possible, and if there are many of them, bang, bang, bang,
I mean, I got here. Let me demonstrate.
you're an officer.
Okay. Let's say, who do I want to use? You come here.
Yeah, clone, that did happen. People would pick them up, but usually pounds equals
Okay.
pain. It's just not a good idea. So more often, officers would take them, probably send them home. That's mainly what would happen.
Okay, let's say, I'm an officer. I got man deserting. I pull out my trusty old hand cannon. Boom. Well, Matt, if you wanted to desert after I shot that guy, when would be the time to go for it?
Now.
Exactly, because I'm going to be sitting here going,
No, this is the point of revolvers.
yeah, see, I'm still loading. Matt's running away. Other people are running away. And I'm like, oh, crap. Who do I shoot next? Whereas, if I have one of these, boom, he's gone. People are looking around, and I just go. I just cock the hammer back. They're like, okay, he means business.
And if you had the Lamette, you could probably take out 2 or 3.
I mean, 9 shots and a 20-gauge shotgun. What more do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is a pistol I could see an enlisted man picking up because that is a rare treat.
Most of the enlisted men, what they would do is they would get coat pistols, small one-shot guns.
Derringers.
Usually, you would have loaded it before a battle, and maybe you fired it, maybe you did. It depends, but it tucks into your sack or frock coat pocket. Not the most comfortable, but if you got close enough to the enemy, it would be useful. Or if one tried to jump you, pull it back.
Or if if you're left out on the battlefield overnight wounded and you're convinced you're going to die.
Well, dark red.
I'm looking at it from a soldier's viewpoint.
This is for true.
They would rather slowly bleed out to death with that little glimmer of hope of, hey, someone might come back for me. Probably not. Or just, I'm going out on my own terms.
Well, if you go out on your own terms, God is going to hate you.
I think God would understand.
No, he wouldn't.
You don't know. You never met the guy.
Not yet.
So how do you know?
You never know.
Exactly my point.
I'm good shot, boys.
I'm good shot, boys.
I'm good shot, boys.
And for all the people who argue that infantry were not given sidearms, that bayonet is technically a sidearm.
Mm-hmm.
So they did have sidearms.
I use mine for the most important thing of all on the battlefield. When I have a back itch. I can't reach back there, especially with my stuff on. So I use it as a back scratcher.
And back at camp, it plays another important role. Candle.
Yeah. Cooking bacon.
That too. And another, as it comes to weapons, your ramrod is a more important, it has many purposes than just ramming your bullet home. It can act as a cooking utensil, a back scratcher, or just something for you to mess around with your buddies with. Poke around the fire, poke him, whatever. But soldiers found out that everything had multiple uses. Had multiple uses. whether it be
Yeah,
a
that
bayonet
hard attack,
or something
Go ahead.
as simple as a watch have multiple uses. Like watches have that have the glass cover, have the glass front. So what's good at reflecting light? Glass that could be used as a signaling mirror. Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod.
But pistols also were not all they're cracked up to be. Because I would go get them, but honestly, I don't know if I should.
Nah, don't bother right now.
Okay.
One issue I do have with Civil War pistols is that the open powder will cause a chain reaction.
Yes, which is called a chain fire. And
also, when that happens, the caps will also explode. And they will also be forced back at you.
The best thing to do is, and this is coming from personal experience, being a Cav soldier, if a chain fire does happen, and you notice, you'll be able to notice it fairly often because all of a sudden everything will start going pointed up in the air or down to the ground real close to it because all of those at once are about to go.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why a lot of reenactors I know they buy conversion cylinders,
or we use cream of wheat.
Yeah.
Now then when you got difference in pistols, you got your Colt, which I've demonstrated in other streams how difficult it is to get the cylinder out of a Colt in the middle of battle compared to a Remington. Now I do carry. Now it's no surprise that I it's well known I carry 2 extra cylinders for my Remington out on the field if I know we're going to be out there for a while. That's just because pistols in many cases are a safer alternative to even carbines depending on the range. Not only that, it's fast to reload, but I don't want to carry pistol cartridges, which were a thing. They were itty bitty tiny cartridge. Here I'll use the scissors for example that were about that big, and you would tear them open. You would pour everything down your cylinder, and you'd pack it. Many officers did that. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain of the 20th Maine, he carried several pistol cartridges with him at Gettysburg. So with that, I'd have to get another cartridge pouch and find another spot for my Colt, and then I'd have to recap my Colt. Whereas my Remington before battle, I can load up all 3 cylinders, cap each one of them, securely snug the caps down securely, and have them ready to go at a moment's notice. A quick change. Also, if my carbine wants to be temperamental like she was at Dogwood, I have a good backup weapon. I'll have at least 18 shots ready to go.
It's never a bad thing to have.
No. Especially for...
I would say, though, if you have the time, and it's going to be like a long reenactment, I would say go with the Colt. If you had a short one, though, I would say Remington.
I'm just the opposite. Long one, I'm going Remington. Short one, I'm going Colt. It also depends on the terrain.
In terms of if I wanted to do powder burn, that's what I do.
Powder burn, for a powder burn event, I would definitely go with a Colt because you're not going to be using too much powder. But for an unscripted battle where you never know what's going to happen, Remington all the way.
Yeah. Not bad.
Then you got then you got your breech loads, and there were, I have heard, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I heard there were some cartridge pistols around at that time.
A few.
But they wouldn't be something that were standard issue. Like in 1859, I think it was, jeans were invented. Denim jeans. Which I know a lot of you might be hearing this for the first time and you're thinking, well, then why were they wearing wool clothing? Well, there was a bigger abundance of wool than there was material to make jeans. So you're going to go
jeans are
with...
expensive.
Yeah, so you're also going to go with what you have more of. Like in like Fallout. I like to say Fallout, popular game series. If any of you have played that, you're going into a fight, you're not going to be going in with the weapon that you favor. You're going to be going in with the weapon that has the most ammo and what you have more of. So in the Civil War, the North had a lot more wool, anything else. So naturally, that's what they made their clothes out of. The Confederacy, they had jean wool, which breathed better, but in the winter didn't keep them as warm. Ooh. Then you got the several possible handheld weapons like Bowie knives, but then those were also private purchase.
And quite large.
Yes. I believe for a while the Confederacy even had their own Bowie knives. They DeGar Bowie. I think for a while they were standard issue among some Confederate units.
Guerrilla close quarters.
Yeah, I honestly, because we were in the Western Theater, I do want to get a DeGar Bowie as a captured prize. Oh, gee, what else is there to talk about?
Let's see.
Yeah, what else do you got on the list?
That's everything.
That's everything?
Yeah, it's everything.
Well, we gotta
covered
find
all the
something for
topics
Tim.
Gus and I have discussed.
We got to find something to talk about for 10 minutes. Questions. Let's take questions for 10 minutes.
I want questions right now.
Now, we wanted them yesterday. Why are we still waiting?
I wanted my questions yesterday, and they're still not here. I want them tomorrow, then now.
You just spoke pure army. Are those guns there? No. Get them there last week. Okay.
You remember in How the Grinch Stole Christmas? I needed this there yesterday.
Yeah. I needed this here yesterday, Lou. Did you know?
First VA, I have a question for you. When is the wedding? I might come, actually.
Wait, what wedding? Me to...
One of his kids is getting married.
Yeah, that's the one I'm...
So did his son.
That's the one I'm marrying.
His son
Honestly, Matt, if you were getting married, I would like sort of crash the wedding that way.
You'd be first on the list, probably.
No, like I would crash the wedding to where it'd be like, you may now kiss the bride. I would like tap you on the shoulder and be like, like, Matt, are we getting married now?
Of course you would do that.
Just tap you on the shoulder and be like, Matt, here I am.
Yes, you would do that. You would.
And honestly, knowing you would be expecting, I just see your face like as the build up to the priest going, you may now, and you're just sitting there like like checking over and I'm just sitting there like, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was talking about that because of the current events.
Let me just let my Filipino girlfriend digest that and see what happens.
That was when I would die. I tap you on the shoulder and you're just. I tap you on the shoulder and it's like, and you're just sitting there like, oh, red, and she's like, I shall murder you.
Well, first VA, I will show up in a helicopter. I'm like.
VA, that is. I like small weddings, honestly. I prefer small weddings to large weddings. You know what really?
I've only been to it.
You know what really gets me though? Is when people have baby showers for every single baby.
I hate that. Really.
Baby showers reserved for the first baby because you're an unexperienced parent and it's supposed to be parents getting you stuff that you will need. Well, boom. There you need the second baby. You should know what you're doing.
Yeah, you should. I feel like for the first baby it'd be nice, and then maybe have like general gifts.
Like not even that. Like for the second baby, I'll like have a get together. Be like, yeah, we're having another baby, and then it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want any. It's like, where's my gift? You mean you're not prepared for the second child? I helped you with the first one. It's not even my kid. Why aren't you ready for the second one? Single and not yet ready to mingle, maybe. I don't know.
You'll be fine, lad.
I know. Who can resist an Irishman with a beard like this? Good question.
An Irish woman who has a beard except on the opposite side.
On the back of her head?
No, Red, you know what I mean.
Oh, one of those beards.
Probably shouldn't have said that. This video's gonna get.
I'm glad we beat around the bush. I'm terrible, dude. Honestly, I don't want to meet an Irish girl because I would fall in love with her. I would fall in love with her accent so fast.
You would, and you'd do anything.
I would. She could be like, "Do you want to go rob a bank?" Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You know, I wish is that YouTube wasn't so
Anal about
awful with
things.
algorithm, because then we could be like actual reenactors.
No. Because actual reenactors would get this channel taken down. Because actual reenactors right now, we'd be like already planning the deaths of me and my imaginary Irish wife.
But imagine, like, this is only about a quarter of what a reenacting event is kind of like.
And we're toning it down so much. Like, there would be so much vulgar language going on right now. And
I have to restrain myself from swearing and also not saying some pretty
risque things. Oh man, but yeah, it'd be like, so yeah, oh, I can't. Okay, no.
I'm sad that I can't do that.
Oh, YouTube, why you gotta do this to us? There needs to be a category for reenactors. All kinds of messed up people in the noggin. All they do is called, never mind.
That would be great.
So what part of YouTube do you belong to? What part of YouTube do you belong to? Reenactors. Oh.
Reenactors. What is this? What is this category? You can do whatever you.
You can do whatever you want. No, because then all the weebs and everything would be part of it.
Who would you consider weebs then?
Raunchy people.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. Bryce's favorite person.
Yes, Belle Delphine.
Thank our local communist YouTube for anti-free speech. Thank you, local communist YouTube.
Yay!
Hey, Red. Do you know how you talk to a communist?
How?
You don't. You throw them out of a helicopter.
You know what? Speaking of communists, we had 2 Russian Terriers in work today. And I brought one of them.
Vodka?
Oh, no, it was funny because I have my speaker and I wear an apron to help keep me dry. And I found out that between where it ties around my waist and where it goes around my neck, I can fit a Bluetooth speaker right in the chest area and point it upwards so I get instant music and audio music. And so as I was walking up to the front, I get on my phone, I go, USSR anthem. And I start playing it, so as soon as I open up the door, Krakroshkenaki.
You're one in a million, Red.
Dude, tell my Irish wife.
Yes, I did see some of the Grand Tactician. I saw it on Steam.
I walked in on Matt and Bress when they were talking about that. You know what? We will continue this stream on the Discords during a movie. But with that being said, there are a few channels I want to shout out. General Cody HD, Calibrated Core, Brand F, Civil War Digital Digest, Cover DD, Second United States Sharpshooters, and a Core Red Runner 328, along with the Townsends. The Townsends are great people. They sent me this book about cooking. This tin whistle, which I am learning to play. I'm getting better at it, Matt. Shut your mouth. They also sent me a couple other things I cannot find.
I dream of dying.
And also Red Runner 328. Great guy, great beard, great, sort of great mustache. It's kind of uneven. I need to fix that. And he likes to smoke cigars and talk about history. Recommend him to your friends, your mother, your grandmother, your children that you may or may not have. In the future, recommend him to your children. Even your dog. Recommend me to your dog. Arf. They'll know what it means. And of course, CNC Celery, they're a great seller. I have been talking with them a lot recently about current events and what's been going on. Where I'm recently getting one of my dad's uniforms remade from them, which is our chaplain, our core chaplain. Which I think it's safe to say we're all going to go to hell. The Discord, Patreon, and CNC, all the links are in the description. They should be functional. If they are not, it is Matt's fault.
I didn't even link them, damn
That's why it's your fault.
Why is it my fault? What did I do?
Nothing.
Oh, that's a good reason. Thank you for that. Also, I expect to see First VA in the Discord later at a reasonable
time. Yes. And of course, yes. And also, I want to shout out Digger's Red Hot Hemorrhoid Tactical
At a reasonable
Time. Yes. And of course, yes. And also, I want to shout out Digger's Red Hot Hemorrhoid Tactical Cream. Whenever you go out on the field and you have hemorrhoids, put that cream right on there, and it sort of tastes like strawberries.
And it also might cause internal bleeding. Just be careful.
And it also might exacerbate your hemorrhoids. So use at own discretion.
It also might cause flare-ups of hemorrhoids.
Yes. With that being said, I will see all of you in the next video and or live stream. I'm kicking around some more video ideas. And I'm thinking about doing another red encampment.
Yay!
If I could find the time between work and doing that. I am working on getting my GoPro all set up to where I'll be able to do first person from the end of my musket, my carbine there. So I look forward to providing any and all laughs, education, and mishaps, and flubdubbery, because I stutter.
Good.
With that being said, Auf Wiedersehen, Adul. It's not letting me end the stream. Okay, there it is. Auf Wiedersehen, Adul. Goodbye. I love you.